Love music and love life. This is Smooth 98.1. If you check your time now, you will see that it is 5 minutes past 11 o'clock. And it's a Tuesday, so that's to tell you that you are listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. Oh, yes, that's a show that gets you to clap your hands because you know that knowledge is always a good idea. And that's what we aim to do for you every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50 on Office Journal. Just feed you with the knowledge that is needed for you to move forward to be a better human, rounded, developed, and making more money because that's very important. So my name is Oluwaseun, and like I mentioned, you're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. Right now, you can join us on YouTube. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/smooth 91 FM Lagos. Or you simply just strut your stuff to YouTube and search for Smooth 92 FM Lagos. Make sure you subscribe while you're there and click on the notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything we have whenever we go live. So for the next 45 minutes, thereabout, or let's say 50 minutes, we'll be having a good chat on the financial mentalities needed to thrive in 2024. I'll take that again for you in case you didn't see it on our social media platforms. The financial mentalities that are needed to thrive in 2024. So we don't just want you to float. We don't just want you to get by. We don't just want you to survive. We want you to thrive in 2024 so that you can do giveaway on our behalf. You know what I mean? And you know that the lines to be a part of the show are always constant. We've got a WhatsApp line, which is 0809 444 0981, while we have the call line, which is 01448 9981. My guest this morning is actually no stranger to the show. I think the first time I heard her was last week when she was on Business Express and she was talking about challenges facing happy employment in Nigeria. And I was listening and I said, my word, there is so much we can do together. First, that session was impactful. I got value, and I thought you also should be able to be a part of it in another way. So that's why we're bringing her back. She is known as a happy employee coach, but amidst that, she does a lot of other things. She is a finance coach. She's an author, actually, and her book titles will get you, mean. First, she's the author of Why Your Boss Prefers Your Colleague at Work. She also authored another book that is called Who You Should Know to Succeed at Work. And one of the ones I find really interesting, Who is Using Your Salary? So in case you've been wondering where your money went to, now you need to know. So please make welcome Nneka Jethro-Iruobe. Good morning.
Good morning, Shion. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. And Happy New Year.
Oh, I am
Yes. To
excited.
you and our listeners. Yeah.
Happy New Year to you too. All right. So now that we have actually we're yet to lay the foundation. So we'll take a breather. And when we come back, I am curious to know how you'd end the tag happy employee coach and what you have to say to those who say salary is never going to be okay. In fact, it is the money that is paid for your life in return for what you're giving your boss. So I know you have quite something to say to that. When we come back, we'll
Definitely.
take it.
Okay.
If you're joining us for the first time, this is Office Journal on Smooth 98.1, and we're only just getting started about what you need to have, the mentalities you need to have financially for you to thrive in 2024. We'll be right back. So when we come back, we just go right to it and start to have a good chat.
Okay, cool. You're ready.
Have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you have plenty of vegetables like a fork and season with the rich taste of non-seasoning cubes, even better. So go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of no cubes. Today, eat for good. Wake up to Saturday morning and smell the coffee. Wake up to breakfast in bed. It's everything you need on one menu. Information, entertainment, and everything else in between. It Indulge yourself and go on the perfect binge with me, Oluwaseun, on Breakfast in Bed every Saturday morning from 7 o'clock. Now, your breakfast is served. That's right. Every Saturday from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m., I get to serve you breakfast while you're still in bed. And well, when I'm done, I tell you to get out of bed. So I hope you do not miss out on it this Saturday, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. We've got all the segments from the ones that nourishes your health and wellness, which we call soul food. We talk about your health and wellness. We have the Smooth Explorer, it's about your entertainment, where we play different kinds of songs. We even have something for the children as well called Curious Mind at 8:40 a.m. A full package. You can call it the balanced menu. But for now, you're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. It's 11 minutes past 11 o'clock, and we are about to discuss the financial mentalities that you need to thrive in 2024. My guest is the Happy Employee Coach. She's a finance coach as well as an author, and she is Nneka Jethro-Iruobe, and we want to understand how she got a tag, the Happy Employee Coach.
Okay, thanks, Sean, and good morning to our listeners. It's a very interesting one. I In 2019, I say I literally almost lost my job. Why? We have this 360-degree feedback thing that we do. And the feedback came and said, oh, people were struggling to work with me. I seemed to be enjoying some partial benefits, and I started wondering. So my performance manager was like, the image of what was put across doesn't look like who you are, right? You seem to be doing very well in your role. What's going on? And as I began to engage with my team, so I talked to one or two mentors at work, and they said, oh, reach out to your team members, speak to them one on one, and know exactly what's going on. And as I engaged, I found out something that stood out across was people struggle to speak up at work. People feel like I'm in the office. If things are going on, I can't talk, or if I talk, it won't be listened to, and all of that. So I started telling my team that one of the things that helped me to thrive at work was if I was doing a project that I didn't like or I didn't think was um, timelines that were not okay, I would speak up and say, these are the reasons why I don't think this timeline would work. So it seemed to be that I was able to engage and get certain things off my plate. So I seemed to be under less pressure, right? So people felt, oh, so that was where I started teaching people. In fact, when I first started teaching, I just called it Nneka Speaks, right? Teaching you how to add value at work and get recognized for the value you bring at work. But as that journey went on, it became clear that when you get recognized at work for the value, you'll be happy, right? And for me, I felt many people were frustrated with their jobs. They felt trapped. People feel trapped. I'm at this job, I'm trapped. So initially, when the thought came to be happy employee coach, I was like, I don't want to be called a coach. Please, everybody's being called a coach. Please, I don't want to do that. But it just kept on running in my mind over and over again. And then I changed my IG handle name to the Happy Employee Coach. And what happened instantly over the next few days was people started asking me, so you need to teach people how to be happy at work. That's true. So whenever I would comment on any page, I would get followers because people were curious as to being happy at work, employee. Those two things, do they go together? Can I be an employee and be happy? So that's the backstory really when I started coaching, and then the name now came up as the Happy Employee Coach. So that's a bit of the backstory.
Hmm, quite interesting. And now, speaking of that work, which is a salary paying job. So there are different school of thought on it that salary is basically the amount that is paid for you in exchange for your time, your life, your brain cells, and everything. So what is your take on it, especially as building wealth? Do you think a person can build wealth and transfer wealth to their generations as a result of working for another person?
So you've asked a very important question that most employees think about, right? And it's a question that if you let me, I can keep talking about for the next 1 hour to unpack everything in that question. It's a loaded question. To begin with, I think the first problem people have is that we say you go to work and you exchange your life for the work, your brain cells and all. Literally, that's what it is. I tell my team, I say what we're selling here. I work in a professional services firm, right? We're selling your brain, literally. That's what the firm is paying me for. My thinking, my capacity, my ability. That's facts. And so what I then say to people is you're not doing yourself a double whammy. You're punishing yourself when you're giving so much and you're not intentional about the value you are getting. So most people are locked in that
Mm.
I'm giving my life, my blood, my sweat, my tears. I've cried at work. I know I will still cry when the pressure gets a lot. I cry. I let out the steam, and that's fact. So if I'm going to give my life, my blood, my sweat, then I must be very intentional about the value I am getting, how I'm using the salary that I'm getting, how I'm using the time that I have, how I'm setting boundaries of my time. I must be very intentional about it. So yes, I'm in that school of. I think the missing thing for most people is the backside to it, the many games of employment that you need to be able to unlock. How you use the salary that you're getting, how you use your time off work. Are you always available to work? I'm a senior person at work, and I tell my team that as long as you're available, there's work to be done. So please don't be available if you don't want to work. Very simple. So I think it's critical for people to understand you are giving your time, your life, your money. Then do something about making sure that you're maximizing the gains of employment. And I guess we'll unpack that as we go. Now, let's talk about building wealth as an employee. It's strongly linked to that. How are you building your personal brand at work, right? How are you elevating yourself and your work? The truth is, many of us are waiting for our bosses to reward us and see the work that we're doing. Fact, as you are going into 2024, man is selfish.
Mm.
Man is selfish. We focus on ourselves. So you must own the journey of telling your own story at work and elevating the value you are bringing into work. It's when your value is elevated that you will get promotions as you should. You will get the exposure as you should, the travel, the training programs, you will get those. Do not go into 2024 thinking my work will speak for itself. No, that's why you have a voice. So you can build wealth. It's how you are intentional about your time and the money that you're getting from that job. How are you using it? That is where we're going to talk about being able to build wealth. Chill, let me, like I said, I can go on for 1 hour. Let me pause. Maybe you can ask other questions and unpack so that, I don't just go on a tangent that may not be very useful for the listeners. Let me pause here.
I definitely enjoy this path that you have taken, and I will add another question to it. So a little bit different, but still in the same line. Multiple sources of income as a paid employee. How do you navigate that?
Okay, so we've gone into the issue of having several things you're doing with your time. And
Side
that's how I like to
hustle.
call it, side hustle. But it's really using your time respectfully, if I would say that. I say to employees, right? And I'm on a show like this, I can talk freely. When I go to companies to speak, I'm a bit more careful because people then begin to say, hey, I saying push not focus on their work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that somebody, and this is my experience, who is conscientious with their time outside the office is usually more intentional with their time at work. Somebody who uses their time profitably. And when I mean profit, I'm not talking about profit just for money, but profit for their personal brand, profit for other things, is usually more conscientious with their time outside the office. So when we talk about building side hustles and multiple sources of income, the first thing I want to say, and I used to think this, but I never really said it out until I think last week. After the show last week was when it hit me and I said it in the video. If you have bad money habits, side hustle won't solve your problem of your money problems. If you have bad money habits and you think that, oh, it's just because I don't have much sources of income, you are setting yourself up for more frustration because what happens is that money comes and you will blow it and waste it the same way you are wasting your salary. So that for me is the first thing to solve.
Mm.
Understand. We're not money trained in this part of the country of the world. We don't understand how money works. We don't understand that it's value creation that brings money. There's a strong disconnect between how our companies make money and how we get paid for many of us. Many of us show up at work thinking they have money, they don't want to pay me the money. And I'm not saying you don't deserve to be paid more. Hey, see, I'm an Igbo girl, and I say it. I like money, I need more money. So don't even go there. You can't even play me with that one, right? But let me say this to you this morning. As I go into 2024, if you think having a side hustle will solve your money problems, it may not solve them. First, get money trained. Understand how money works. That's the first thing. So I'm not against side hustles. I do what I do today. I didn't start it, like I said, looking for money. I started because I found many people were unhappy at work, but it has given me money. I wouldn't lie to you. In 2023, I made good money. Maybe not, I mean, good money in Naira from speaking at events and stuff, but that wasn't the driver. So that's why I say to people, first of all, be sure that you don't have bad money habits. Then you've got to choose something that you have easy area of strength in. Something that will not demand too much from you. I can be woken up at midnight. I'm told to speak. I mean, you heard me last week. I was told that there was a night before that we closed that I was going to be speaking that morning. It was the night before, right? So I have no issues with speaking about this topic. So look for an area that you have strength in, an area that you actually enjoy, an area that you can actually see impact quickly. But first, let's fix your money issues first.
And that takes me to part of those money issues. But before I even cross over to the money issues, I would like to further or rewind and go back to the salary part. I just wanted to touch a bit on that. So some say being a salary earner tends to make people complacent. Do you agree with that? And if you were to give an overview of how long you should be at a salary paying job, what do you think are the factors that can determine the longevity?
So yes, I thought I was going to make that point. Your salary is a leverage, not a leeway to laziness. Your salary
I need to put that down.
is a leverage, not a leeway to laziness. So I can really agree with that school of thought. Many of us, and I'm saying this as someone, just for context for those who are listening. I'm a married woman. My husband is a pastor. I have 3 kids, 10 and under, right? So that you understand that I'm not saying this to say, shock your whole time outside work with busyness. No, I'm not saying that. Interestingly, my son said to me last week or 2 weeks ago, Mom, you have not gone on Instagram Live to tell people about being happy for a long while. Honestly, when I first started, I used to go live every Sunday. So they knew 30, 40 minutes, mommy was live on Sunday evenings. But I've not done that in a while. Right. I said, Mommy, you've not done that. And then he says, oh, Mommy, I'm writing a book on how to use your money well. Right? He's 10 and he's still putting his thoughts together on the book. So I give this context for people to know that when I'm saying use your time well, there's a lot you can unpack. My very first book before I became the Happy Employee Coach was a book of puzzles and poems. Find it Bible games. I wrote those books to and fro work while in traffic. When people are maybe just gisting or watching movies or whatever, I was writing. It's those evenings I would spend on the way back from work, messaging people that I met. Oh, have you heard about my new book? My book of XYZ. Come and buy for your church. Come and buy for your children. Use it for party pack. So I say this to say that your salary actually is supposed to give you time boundaries where you are learning and earning. And the rest of that time, if you devote an hour, 16 to 90 minutes every day, building a passion, writing about stuff. The internet is awash with opportunities for you to write and build your personal brand. Write a book, do something to add value, give back to community. Let's even leave money making. Give back to community.
Mm.
You are teaching children, you are teaching younger ones how to get ready for work. You just left school, you're preparing people in the university, preparing people to write jam. Your salary is a leverage to create value, not a leeway to laziness. All right. You asked a second question now, and that has skipped my mind. Please remind me.
I think I totally focused on leeway that I also forgot what that was.
So
I
that was what
think
I
I
was
will
trying to
remember it
unpack.
right after
Yes, as
this
we,
after
yes,
this brief. Oh, now it has come back to me. The longevity.
yes.
I
How
mean, for
long
how
should you
long
stay
should you
an
be at your
employee?
job earning money?
So I say this with caution because I'm still an employee, right? And I'm careful to say stuff I haven't experienced. When I first published my book, Finding Bible Games in 2017, people said to me, "This is something that you can go and do full time." And I agree with them. But I'm a Christian, and so I prayed about it and I didn't feel a release to leave my job. So I stayed at my job. Have I made money from Finding Bible Games? Yes. Is there opportunity to make more money? Am I even maximizing it well? Not yet. So I said to people that before you leave your job, while you're at your job, first of all, don't work like you cannot leave that you cannot lose the job.
Hmm.
Remember that you can lose that job. So don't eat with your 10 fingers, like they say. Start thinking intentional wealth building. There are pages you can join on Instagram, there are groups, there are clubs, there are mutual funds that you can invest in. Start thinking, how am I using this money? In quotes, how am I doubling my salary? But not necessarily doubling, so you don't fall into the trap of all these schemes and all of those things. But think, how am I keeping money aside? Not just to look at it and admire it and say, oh, I've saved XYZ amount, but to create value. That's one. Once you find something you like that you start making money from, the rule I've heard over and over said is make sure you save 1 year to 18 months out value. Create that amount of money that your living expenses can be sustained for a year to 18 months. So that when you decide to leave, you're not under pressure to start touching that money immediately. You are giving the business time to breathe and quickly invest and turn around value. So I'd say make sure that you have living expenses of 12 to 18 months out before you take a plunge. And if you're a married person and you have children, the burden is a different scenario. So I would say start early, building that wealth, okay? So that if you can experiment and leave before you have additional responsibilities, that's the best time actually.
Thank you very much for the clarity you've given to that question. So, after this breather, we come back and we start to talk about those bad money habits. And then we excavate the mentalities that are not even allowing you put a good foundation in place for your thriving in 2024. If you're joining us for the first time, you are in the right place. And trust me, you should not change the dial because this will help you with the right information and knowledge that you need to be a better person and for your pocket to be bigger and fatter in 2024. This is Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. We'll be right back. So just some seconds and we'll be back.
Okay, no problem.
Think about touching your dad. Takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness. This is when it is cooked with no seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste. Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans. It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of no cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Okay, we are back.
Hi, my name is Kate Henshaw, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1 for intelligent talk and music to you in the mood.
Nobody does it better. We are Smooth 98.1 and we love music. We love life. We love a better you. We love you with a robust pocket. And that's why we're having the discussion on financial mentalities needed to thrive in 2024. This is Office Journal. My name is Oluwaseun. I have the Happy Employee Coach as my guest this morning, and she is Nneka Jethro-Iruobe. We're talking about the financial mentalities needed to thrive in 2024. And before the break, she dropped lots of gems, and part of it requires you knowing that your job is not necessarily the permanent sites, or what do they call it? You don't think of your salary as your leverage and that final bus stop for you. It's not the leeway to laziness, she said, but something for you to leverage on. So that's very important. And while you're working at your salary, working at your job, make sure that you are not just giving and not taking in terms of your value that you're getting from the job, in terms of what you're doing with the knowledge, the experience, and most importantly, the salary that you are getting. What are you doing with your money? How are you multiplying? Not through scam or double the Ponzi scheme. No, not betting. No, that's not what we're saying. But how are you actually doing, putting your money to work? And she said something very important. Don't eat with your 10 fingers. Make sure that you are delaying gratification, sort of. That's how I can call it. That said, let's talk about those bad money habits you mentioned earlier that can actually plunge you into deeper mess.
Okay, thank you very much. There's something you said I want to just touch on in terms of using your knowledge. I say to people that I found out that I liked presentations. I enjoyed giving presentations at work. And once I found that out, I said intentionally volunteering to give up presentations. And what that has done in the last almost 4 years I have been on the journey of being the happy employee coach is that I have built a skill set, leveraging my employment that's now paying me outside work, right? So be very intentional. Look out for things you truly enjoy at work and pour your heart into them. It will look like they are using you in quote, but trust me, that skill would pay out later on. Okay, so I wanted to just share that quickly. So about the
Thank
mindset
you.
that you need to worry about, you're welcome, Oluwaseun, that you need to worry about in 2024. I shared something with a company 2 weeks ago, and I want to just share from there this morning. The first thing which people may find odd that I don't want you to go into 2024 thinking is forgetting why you were hired. And someone is going to ask me, how is that a money mistake? How is that a bad financial habit? I will explain. The first point is don't forget why you were hired. And I say this because every time I get to teach about being happy at work, I try to remind people that the primary reason you have a job is because your boss needed help. If your boss could give the company the amount of value the company wanted from that unit, from that role, without you, you wouldn't have the job. So that's the primary reason. How does that help you? If you think like this, it will determine how you show up at work. It will influence how you show up for your boss. It will influence the way you give your boss value. And when you give your boss value in the way they like to be given value, you have all of a sudden elevated yourself and positioned yourself for promotion. You have all of a sudden communicated that as someone of value, someone that deserves to be rewarded, someone that deserves to be retained. So I'm not saying don't look out. I'm not saying stay in the job forever. I've worked where I've worked now. This is my 16th year, right? It wasn't my intention to be there. Yes, it wasn't my intention to be there this long, but this is my 16th year, right? And I say to people that if I wasn't giving my best all these years, I would be the one suffering it. So the first money mistake any employee needs to avoid is forgetting why they were hired. Show up in 2024 thinking, I am going to give this guy or this lady so much value, and they're going to say this person deserves to be promoted. This person deserves to go for that training program abroad. This person deserves to be exposed to XYZ type of projects. That's the first money mistake I want to talk about, right? So that's the first thing. The second money mistake is thinking and believing that your salary is too small. All of us want more money. So let's just get that one out of the table. Like I said, out of the door. See, I'm an Igbo girl. I want more money, right? I want to travel at will. There, everybody wants more money. After somebody sang, I don't know who sang, but I always say it when I teach. Dangote, still they find money. I don't know who sang it, but the point is, we all want more money, right? And the work I do in my 9 to 5 is a job that exposes me to salary conversations at the highest level in the biggest companies you can think of in Nigeria. That's the core work that I do in my 9 to 5. And I've never walked into any boardroom where someone says, reduce our salary. Doesn't matter how senior. Think of the highest paid people you can think of. It doesn't matter how senior. Doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter how many millions and millions of naira and hundreds of millions. I've never walked into any room that someone says, reduce it. So let's get that straight. You would always want more money. But if you focus on how small the salary is, you'll be blind to opportunities to maximize that salary. You'll be blind to opportunities to position yourself to earn more. So get it out of the way. We all want more money. Stop thinking your salary is too small, because what happens in my experience in teaching is people feel salary is too small, and they walk into the third error. They don't budget that salary. The money is too small, safe. Waiting happen. There's no point. We just spend down. How much? Clothes. We go buy the clothes. After all, money is too small. There's no need. I hear that over and over again. And that's the problem. One of the things I say on my profile is that I can tell you for the last 12, 13 years where my salary has gone to. Every single month. I can account for it today. And what that does for you is there's a sense of joy and fulfillment you get when you can look back and you can say, okay, I bought this, I bought this, I bought that. I saved, and I was able to buy property here. I was able to do this, I was able to do that. I'll share this. When we moved into our house, myself and my husband, 5 years ago, people couldn't believe it. It's not like our parents gave us money or anything. No, we intentionally kept money aside, and we're very intentional about it. And so when people say things like, oh, you not buy weed, most of my colleagues, because like I said, I've worked in the same place 16 years. So people have known me all through those years. When they saw what we did with our money, they were like, no wonder. Now it makes sense. So I'm saying this to you, stop calling your salary too small and don't walk into that third error of not budgeting. I say to people that companies, conglomerates, countries, and continents run on budgets. Why do you think you're not run on a budget? Companies, the largest conglomerates you can come across anywhere in the world, countries run on budgets. Why do you think you're not run on the budget? So that's one mistake you must not make coming into 2024. run on a budget. And what I did was, in fact, that was a story of me starting to teach you about personal finance. It was from budgeting. Absolute serendipity moment. I put up a post in November of 2022 that, oh, be careful, oh, 13th month is coming, oh, watch how you use your salary. Random post. And I said to people, if I get 10 comments, I would share my budget template for free. And I posted it and moved on, left Instagram. And I started getting DMs. Oh, share. And I was like, everybody has a budget now. What are people asking for? And so I made it free. And I have a template that people can just go and download, and you have descriptions. It has 20 expense items. I put description as to why, and percentages as well. So it serves as an audit tool for you. Audit yourself and you know how far. But please don't start 2024 not budgeting. Or the fourth one, Oluwaseun, is thinking you keep budget in your head. People say, I know what I will spend my salary on. Is here. I know now. That one is a setup. They say the shortest and bluntest
On your
pencil,
own.
I'm telling you, is stronger than the longest memory. So let me stop at that fourth point. Number one, forgetting why you were hired. Number two, thinking the salary is too small. Then you don't budget, or you say you are budgeted, but the budget is in your head.
Thank you very much for those points. Very, very helpful. Now, if somebody is listening and they have any question, you can send your questions to WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 0809 444 0981. Again, WhatsApp is 0809 444 0981. If you'll be sending a message, please remember to include your name and location so that we can know who's talking to us and we can give you the response you need. And then if you'll be calling, the line to dial is 014489981. There's also a rule for that one. Turn down the volume of your radio set so that we do not have that ugly or that discomforting feedback. So 014489981 is the number to dial, while the other one is WhatsApp. We're also streaming live on YouTube in case you'd like to share with your family and friends. And, friends that make money together, stay happy together. So what YouTube is right there. YouTube is at Smooth 91 FM Lagos. That's the handle that you're searching for, at Smooth 91 FM Lagos. We've been talking about different things related to your finance, the mentalities you need to do away with for you to actually retain money, because I realize it's not just about making money. It's about you retaining the money. There were a lot of times you actually don't know the amount of money that flows into your hands until you document it. Because it looks like nothing is coming. But if you know the amount you spend on this and that and those things, you realize, okay, I actually took delivery of money, for the lack of a better word. So yes, be very intentional about that. And she's giving us very key points. We'll take another breather, actually the last of it, because time flies by real fast. And when we come back, we'll be telling you what to do instead, in addition to those things you need to stop doing. You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. You just think, oh, I'm not getting money until you realize the amount you spent on rides, ice cream, entertainment, subscriptions.
Subscriptions that you
Those
don't
are
even end
money.
up using.
You know this. You know this. I had to cancel one of the subscriptions to a video sharing, streaming stuff, because I realized this thing, I barely watch these things I subscribe. What am I doing?
And they look like little money, but it's the tiny drops that bring the rain.
That exactly is the issue. When we just say this is little, that is little, but by the time you put everything together,
Yep.
it is not. So when we come back, we'll just talk about those things, those habits or those mentalities, in addition, if there are additions to others, and then goes forward to the habits that you need to build. But I'll play a song and then
Okay.
we come back. Yeah. Has your laptop come back on now?
Yes, yes, it's come. So I don't know if the laptop was just telling me that it's New Year. I typically have my laptop on every single day, but I think in the last 3 or 4 days, I haven't put it on work. I mean, I found out I was able to, I can boldly say that in the last how many years that hasn't happened. I've gone 48 hours without putting on my laptop for work. So I'm actually very happy.
Oh.
Yes. So I think that was like, it's been a while. This has happened to me. What's going on? But it's good. We're back on. We're back on. Yeah.
What I got, yeah, what I got, that's what I want. That's so. Do you have any tip for the ones who are not necessarily working for someone or but working for themselves?
Oh yeah. I mean, there are some principles that will cut across. So in sharing them, I can just mention those.
Okay. Okay. What I want, that's what I want. One of my favorite Motown songs when it concerns money discussion. That is Barrett Strong from 1959 with Money, That's What I Want, written by Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Tamla and the other subsidiaries, as well as Johnny Bradford. You're listening to Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. And I can imagine that you are cursing alongside Barrett saying that you need money. But the truth is, it's not just about having lots of money. Can you retain the money if they give you that lots of money that you actually want? There is a mentality that keeps money and also attracts money. And that's part
Yep.
of what we're discussing this morning on Office Journal on Smooth 98.1. And my guest has been the happy employee coach. That is Nneka Jethro-Iruobe. So I do have some messages on WhatsApp. I will take them quickly as we wrap up the discussion. Peter says, Happy New Year, Oluwaseun, the expert. Thanks for heads up on finance. On Sunday, we had same talk. Thank you very much. For those people who think their salary is small, when they lose that small salary job, they'll know the importance. I never had a thought when I was a janitor with a bank till I resigned and started to work for myself. Thank you. Then Yemi from Lagos says it's an opening session this morning. Thank you, Smooth FM. Yes, my fare is taking about that's transport fare. It says it's taking about 25% of his salary, though I work with the government, but I can't lobby for a transfer to my area of choice. That's just the only bottleneck of my job. Not married yet. Advise me, please.
Okay. Should I respond?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there will be at different points in your career and in your life, there will be different amounts that will take a significant part of your salary, right? Um, for now, it may be transport for you. Maybe as you grow, get married, have children, they will shift to childcare and family care. So the issue is if you sit back and ask yourself, with this transport issue, is there anything I can do about it? Do a calculation. If I move closer to this office location, right? I pay rent, it may be higher. What's the transport cost equivalent? The time I will save on the road, take your salary, divide it by number of your working hours in the year, and say what's that rate per hour. the time I was saving on the road, can I convert it to do something else? So do that calculation and take a decision whether you need to move closer, right? Then ask yourself, are there colleagues that you can join to and through work? Is there a ride share system you can adopt? Think of ways that you can, that may be inconveniencing. I remember I put up a post, and in fact, interestingly, I was doing an analysis and I found that it was one of my highest impression posts on LinkedIn, where I said I used to take Molue to work when I first started working, right? And then some people would look, when I tell my colleagues, then my colleagues now, they would like, no, UK. I'm like, well, for real. I would stand some days from Sele in Okota area till we get to Ikoyi to Obalende. Some days I'm literally standing all the way on Third Mainland Bridge, and then you come down. You know how to come down from Olue. You have to jump and move in motion. Otherwise, you would be very embarrassed, right? So my
Hmm.
point is, think of ways, and it's a temporary thing. You will grow beyond it. So don't think of, hey, my life, is this me? This is my life? No. 7 or 8 years ago, I attempted to enter public transport bus. Honestly, Oluwaseun, I was like, Nneka, I was there, just try. After 5 minutes, I came down. I was like, no, there are things you've grown beyond there. Just go and enter a cab and be going home. There's no need. So I'm sharing that to let you know that you will grow, but you need to make these sacrifices at this point, right? And truth is, I'm saying that so that you don't think it will come to a point where by the time you get married and have children, that's a large chunk of. So there's always a point where there'll be something in your life that takes a large chunk, but just think of creative ways to keep the cost down.
Thank you very much. I hope Yemi from Lagos finds that insightful and helpful as well. If you have any question, any contribution to the show, I'll say in the next 2 minutes, you need to send it because we're almost at the end of it. WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. Again, WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. While the call line is 01448-9981. So back to the building blocks of a thriving 2024.
Okay, the first thing is to budget. Budget. I say to people, name your pay before you swipe away, or you will waste your pay. Name your pay
Oh, hold on,
before
hold on. Uh-huh.
name your pay
Name your
before
pay. Okay.
before you swipe away,
Uh-huh.
or you will waste your pay.
Wonderful.
Name your pay before you swipe away, or you will waste your pay. So before salary enters your account, budget every single cent. If you're in US, every single penny, every single kobo, every single naira, give it a name. My template for budgeting includes miscellaneous because life happens, right? So I understand that. But before, even if it's a bonus coming in, somebody is you did a deal. Before you spend a single dime from it, give it a name. Name every single thing, right? So budget, right? And Dave Ramsey said, budgeting is not restricting yourself. It is you telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So Dave Ramsey says
Yeah.
budgeting is you telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So that's what
Instead of
budgeting
wondering
does
where
for you.
it
So that's
went.
budgeting, right? The second thing I'll quickly say is, because I know we're a young generation, young people in Nigeria, is audit your social media. Audit your social media. I say to people that I don't follow brands I buy from. I don't like going to the market, so I should mostly shop online. But I don't follow handles I buy from. When it's time to buy new shoes, I go look for the handles I usually buy from. But I don't click the follow button. When it's time to buy clothes, I go look for the handles to buy from. And I go and I shop and I don't click the follow button because what you see, you desire. Suddenly you will not have enough dresses. Suddenly that yellow dress is the perfect one that you need. Suddenly the yellow shoes to go with the dress becomes, if I don't buy it, there's fire on the mountain. So audit your timeline. If there are handles of people that you follow who seem to wear new outfits every day, please unfollow. Cut out the pressure to spend and to buy. I say this from a place of understanding because I buy things online. I buy, even for my kids, I buy clothes, shoes, singlets online. So that you understand, I'm not saying it because, oh, I'm a woman and I will go to the market. No, I don't like going to the market. But even with the handles I buy shoes for my kids, I don't follow because when oh, it's so cute, I will buy it. Oh, this sandal will look so nice on her leg. I will buy it. No, I don't follow. right? So you understand that all this is social media. The third thing I would say is hold less cash. One of the things I teach people who come into my coaching program, hold less cash. And it's amazing how transformational that is. It shocks me when people begin to tell me how much they begin to say, so I have this amount of money. Yes, because you always withdraw 10K for in case. What is in case? You end up getting home, that 10K is gone. You can't remember what you used it to do. 20K. Oh, just 50K, just in case I see something. What are you encasing? So hold less cash in 2024. What it also does for you is helps you to be accountable, to track. And it's when we track our expenses that we know where we are leaking money. It is when we track our expenses that we know where we are leaking money. If you can't track, you can't know where we are leaking money, and then you can plug the holes. All right. Then budget for fun. Don't just have a tired day and we want to
Interesting.
branch. Budget for fun. Be intentional about it. Myself and my husband agreed. Oh, is it first or fourth Sunday? We'll go out with the kids to a large restaurant, not just any kind of restaurant, like a big one, like a big hotel. They will experience it. You've got to be intentional about those things, right? Budget for fun and have when. Don't just eat out because, oh, today is very, very tiring. I must eat out today. No. Tell yourself if it's once a week or twice, whatever works for you again. And then that they put are listening to us our various levels for their income levels, right? I know that. So budget for fun days, right? Decide when you are going to eat out, when you're going to have fun, when you are going to shop for clothes, shop for shoes. Have times, not just amounts, but times. Schedule it as well. Those are the things I think I would share with you as new habits going into 2024.
Thank you so much. Those things are actually a lot because if you're coming from a place where you are an impulsive spender and now you need to learn how to budget everything, it might look like it is so hard or impossible, but one step at a time. Remember, you didn't even get to where you were now, that bad habit. You didn't get to that place all of a sudden. It was a build up. So the same way, reverse. In the words of Nigerians when they are packing, reverse back. So just reverse, take
Reverse
steps
batch.
backward. Yeah. So just take steps backward and trust me, you will be fine. Thank you so much. Oluwaseun on WhatsApp says, hi, Oluwaseun, the coach. I'm learning a lot. Thank you for always being there and listening. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of the chat for today, but I am looking forward to another session with you because there are a number of issues we need to definitely deal with. Very, very insightful session. Thank you. Now, for people to catch up with you and the many insights you share on social media, how can they do that?
So two ways primarily. I'm on Instagram as the Happy Employee Coach. I'm on LinkedIn, which is where I think I'm sharing a bit more. I've been sharing a bit more for the last 6 to 8 months. So I'd suggest follow me on LinkedIn at Nneka jethro-Iruobe. If you even search the Happy Employee Coach, it's also in my description on LinkedIn, so you will catch me there as well. And then you can also download the free resource for budgeting. It will definitely transform your finances in 2024.
Thank you very, very much. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, there are a lot of things you have missed out on. We've got the YouTube link that will help you catch up on the conversation, and that is at Smooth 91 FM Lagos. I'll just tell you some of the nuggets I got today. She talked about first, I think what you need is you need to understand how money works, know what money is, and then you can then build up habit about on it, because I think one of the things I've realized is that knowledge precedes or should precede every other thing that you have that you want to do. So if you're an employee, make sure you do not forget why you are hired. And if you are an entrepreneur, maybe you should not forget why you started. And then you can definitely keep things going. So many things shared. I'll just leave it at that. And then you can go find it on YouTube. Next week, we'll be back again, 11 a.m. till 11:50 on Smooth 98.1. Office Journal is the name of the show. Smooth 98.1 FM. That's who we are. And we are the Love Music, Love Life radio station. 12 o'clock, I will be playing you African music from 12 till 4 p.m. because it's the Casbah. Till then, enjoy yourself with this one from Frankie, Beverly, and Mays. Teach each other. It was a good time.